Greetings, all of my friends from across the United States of America and the world. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to yet another stream on the Reading Epic Threads channel. How is everybody doing? I am joining you from Dallas, Texas at the lovely Omni Hotel. It's great. I love it. And we are going to begin festivities tomorrow with General Flynn and many, many others starting tomorrow at 7 a.m. sharp. They haven't disclosed the exact location of the breakfast yet. It's supposed to be quiet. Nobody knows how to plan to disrupt the event. It's a big event, guys. There are a lot of people here, a lot. But let's say hello. Richard Rohrer, Mark Conway, Enzo, Alex Jablanowski, Susan the Cracked Egglet, Mountain Woman, J.C. Bird, Barbara Bear Angel Paste, Carla Burton, and Juliet Ochieng. And I'm sure we'll have a few more coming in, but for right now, it's just us. Okay, so let's talk about this. What you guys did for me to get me here is enormously appreciated. It is fantastic. This is going to be a great event. I'm looking forward to doing lots of little impromptu streams, like maybe interview a person here or there, maybe just talk to the people in the crowd. Do a little bit of live streaming of the speaking events as well, and maybe walk back across the street to charge my phone if I have to. I don't know, but it's going to be great. But to support further events like this, go to paypal.me/Bitcoin Armada. You can be the judge of whether or not this event was worth continuing to support. I hope not to disappoint you in any way whatsoever. It's going to be great. Another way to support this channel, my friends. You know what I'm talking about. Oh, look at my lighting, guys. Wow, this light thingy. Hang on, let's try this. I'm using this. How's that? I don't know, guys. It makes the screen look weird. We'll figure it out. In any event, angelpaste.com, promo code Shapiro. It's got food grade plant oils, guys, and it's got absolutely nothing that will dry out your skin. My sister invented this because she used to work for a cosmetic surgeon, and she would always coach patients on how to make their skin look good after surgery. And it always involved a combination of oils. And what she always had to get the patients of this cosmetic surgeon to do was not purchase any of the poisonous trash that you find at the grocery store or at the drugstore. So she ended up saying, look, just use coconut oil, but that wasn't quite right. Okay, just use this kind of oil, this kind of oil, this kind of oil. Eventually, she got fed up and started formulating her own product. After 2 years of trial and error, she brought the world Angel Paste. Angelpaste.com, promo code Shapiro. Food grade plant oils made from nothing your skin doesn't need. Your skin will drink it up. Now, there's another small problem. Small problem. I can't use this while I'm at the Omni because I forgot my horsehair brush. CooperandFrench.com, promo code Shapiro. If you shave, for God's sake, shave with this. And when you travel, do not forget your horsehair brush. Rub it in here with a little bit of water, put it all over your face, and it gives you the smoothest shave you've ever had with the least irritation you've ever had from a shave. I will never shave with anything else except right now, tonight, because I don't have my horsehair brush. So shaving tonight is going to feel kind of like shaving by using a small caliber handgun to shoot the hairs off individually. CooperandFrench.com, promo code Shapiro. JamesMG at Verizon.net for a genuine Michael Flynn, Digital Soldier, Q Coin, where we go one, we go all, guys. JamesMG at Verizon.net. They're almost gone. I'm going to be giving these to some VIPs if I'm lucky over the weekend. We're going to have ourselves a great time this weekend. And I hope in every way that I can that I'm able to bring you with me on this trip. I will do my best. We've got a few other people we want to say hi to. Misty Ha, Hipster Cat, Wade Mason, D. Cree, Enzo the Baker, J Stacks. How are you guys doing? Epic Jill. All right, guys. We got plenty of good stuff too. Plenty of good stuff. And we're going to try to clear out our docket. I can go as late as I want for this one, guys. So let's do it. We're going to start with a thread thanks to our very own Special Ops Kim. And she brings us a thread from Stu Peters, and it's about judges. And I've been wanting to get to this thread, and so now is a perfectly good time. I came across something, and I think it's appropriate for everyone to read this thread. After reading, you may make an appropriate assessment of the application of the knowledge you may gain. Under federal law, which is applicable to all states, the U.S. Supreme Court stated that if a court is without authority, its judgments and orders are regarded as nullities. They are not voidable, but simply void, and form no bar to a recovery sought, even prior to a reversal in opposition to them. They constitute no justification, and all persons concerned in executing such judgments or sentences are considered in law as trespassers. Pearsall, 1 Pete 328, 340, 26 United States Code 328, 340, 1828, Elliott v. Pearsall, quote, "Second, a judge is not immune for actions, though judicial in nature, taken in the complete absence of all jurisdiction. Fraud on the court by an officer of the court and disqualification of judges, state and federal, who is an officer of the court. What effect does an act of fraud upon the court have upon the court proceeding? What causes the disqualification of judges?" Who is an officer of the court? A judge is an officer of the court, as well as are all attorneys. A state judge is a state judicial officer paid by the state to act impartially and lawfully. A federal judge is a federal judicial officer paid by the federal government to act impartially and lawfully. State and federal attorneys fall into the same general category and must meet the same requirements. A judge is not the court. People v. Zajic, 88, 3rd, 477, 1980. 2. What is fraud on the court? Whenever any officer of the court commits fraud during a proceeding in the court, he or she is engaged in fraud upon the court. In Bullock v. United States, 763. All right, let's keep moving. The court stated fraud upon the court is fraud which is directed to the judicial machinery itself and is not fraud between the parties or fraudulent documents, false statements, or perjury. It is where the court or a member is corrupted or influence is attempted, or where the judge has not performed his judicial function, thus where the impartial functions of the court have been directly corrupted. Fraud upon the court has been defined by the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals to embrace that species of fraud which does or attempts to defile the court itself, or is a fraud perpetrated by officers of the court so that the judicial machinery cannot perform in the usual manner its impartial task of adjudging cases that are presented for adjudication. Kenner v. CIR, 1968. The Seventh Circuit further stated, a decision produced by fraud upon the court is not in essence a decision at all and never becomes final. 3. What effect does an act of fraud upon the court have upon the court proceeding? Fraud upon the court makes void the orders and judgments of that court. It is also clear and well settled Illinois law that any attempt to commit fraud upon the court vitiates the entire proceeding. The People of the State of Illinois versus Fred E. Sterling. Federal law requires the automatic disqualification of a federal judge under certain circumstances. In 1994, the U.S. Supreme Court held that, quote, disqualification is required if an objective observer would entertain reasonable questions about the judge's impartiality. If a judge's attitude or state of mind leads a detached observer to conclude that a fair and impartial hearing is unlikely, the judge must be disqualified. Lightke versus U.S. 114, S. Supreme Court 1147, 1162, 1994. Courts have repeatedly held that positive proof of the partiality of a judge is not a requirement, only the appearance of partiality. Confidence in the impartiality of the judicial process. That court also stated that Section 455A, quote, requires a judge to recuse himself in any proceeding in which her impartiality might reasonably be questioned. Taylor v. O'Grady, 7th Circuit, 1989. In Pfizer, Inc. v. Lord, 456, 1972, the court stated that, quote, it is important that the litigant not only actually receive justice, but that he believes that he has received justice. The Supreme Court has ruled and has reaffirmed the principle that, quote, justice must satisfy the appearance of justice. Levine v. United States, 1960, citing Offutt v. United States, 1954. A judge receiving a bribe from an interested party over which he is presiding does not give the appearance of justice. Quote from the 7th Circuit, 1989, recusal under Section 455 is self-executing. A party need not file affidavits in support of recusal, and the judge is obligated to recuse herself sua sponte under the stated circumstances. Further, the judge has a legal duty to disqualify himself, even if there is no motion asking for his disqualification. The 7th Circuit Court of Appeals further stated that, quote, we think that this language, 455A, imposes a duty on the judge to act sua sponte, even if no motion or affidavit is filed. Judges do not have discretion not to disqualify themselves. By law, they are bound to follow the law. Should a judge not disqualify himself as required by law, then the judge has given another example of his appearance of partiality, which possibly further disqualifies the judge. Should another judge not accept the disqualification of the judge, then the second judge has evidenced an appearance of partiality and has possibly disqualified him or herself. None of the orders issued by any judge who has been disqualified by law would appear to be valid. It would appear that they are void as a matter of law and are of no legal force or effect. Should a judge not disqualify himself, then the judge is in violation of the Due Process Clause of the U.S. Constitution. Should a judge issue any order after he has been disqualified by law, and if the party has been denied any of his or her property, then the judge may have been engaged in the federal crime of interference with interstate commerce. The judge has acted in the judge's personal capacity and not in the judge's judicial capacity. It has been said that this judge, acting in this manner, has no more lawful authority than someone's next-door neighbor, provided that he is not a judge. However, some judges may not follow the law. If you were a non-represented litigant, and should the court not follow the law as to non-represented litigants, then the judge has expressed an appearance of partiality, and under the law, it would seem that he or she has disqualified him or herself. However, since not all judges keep up to date in the law, and since not all judges follow the law, it is possible that a judge may not know the ruling of the U.S. Supreme Court and the other courts on this subject. Notice that it states disqualification is required and that a judge must be disqualified under certain circumstances. The Supreme Court has also held that if a judge wars against the Constitution or if he acts without jurisdiction, he has engaged in treason to the Constitution. If a judge acts after he has been automatically disqualified by law, then he is acting without jurisdiction, and that suggests that he is then engaging in criminal acts of treason and may be engaged in extortion and the interference with interstate commerce. Courts have repeatedly ruled that judges have no immunity for their criminal acts. Since both treason and the interference with interstate commerce are criminal acts, no judge has immunity to engage in such acts. That's our opener, my friends. I think it's pretty important to note the stuff in that because I think it's pretty clear we're moving up to a point where judges are going to start being held accountable. And I don't say that as hopium. I say that because it's true. Claude Bernardin, how are you doing, sir? So I heard only 2 minutes, supposedly. All right, let me see what's going on. Supposedly Trump and special forces placed her in charge, so Trudeau is now only play acting. I guess, Claude, seems pretty sketchy to me. Claude is referring to a long BitChute video where a woman claimed to be the head of state of the Republic of Canada, and that the military is now in charge and nothing can stop what is coming. I love it, but I think it's I don't buy it personally, but anything's possible. Lakeside 2002, Jay Stacks, Norma Wong, how y'all doing? All right. Guess what, guys? You know what it's time for, right? I think you know what it's time for. It's getting to be that time. It's time for, if I can find it, I need to do a quick shout out to Portia Westfall. Thank you so much for the lovely and generous super chat. And again, thank you to everybody who has helped support me going on this trip. Excuse me. Okay, so we're going to do audit updates, reading epic threads, May 27th, 2021. This is from Among My People. A few refreshingly tingling tweets tonight. This is from yesterday. They relay a lot in a flash. They do not build up towards something. I just wanted to break the format and try a different way to deliver today's audit update. Tweet number 1. President Trump formed the 1776 Commission to establish patriotic education in our schools. The group met Monday to discuss how to combat the recent push by the Biden administration to teach critical race theory in our schools. Tweet number 2. Josh Barnett on the Arizona audit May 26th, quote, down ballot and statewide coming soon. Hashtag we the people are on the offensive. Hashtag Arizona, the first domino. Hashtag Georgia. Hashtag Michigan. Tweet number 3. Not Alex Shepard on May 26th. If Myanmar can overturn a Soros-rigged election, then so can America. Tweet number 4. Chuck Calesto. Breaking Fox News alert. Social media giant will no longer ban posts claiming COVID-19 was man-made. That's Facebook. Tweet number 5. Josh Barnett, May 26th, to Doug Ducey. Quote, if you're dodging confrontation with Mike Lindell, then my question is, why are you so scared? I mean, if you're right, why would you run from the conversation? I'd be addressing the issue immediately if I was being defamed like that. Yes, of course, you're guilty. Tweet number 6. Another Josh Barnett from Wednesday, May 26th. New notice will be out tonight for the people to begin the process of holding the Bar Association accountable. It's time for we the people to handle business since our elected servants will not. We will not allow the weaponization of the bar against attorneys fighting for the people. This needs to happen in Georgia where the bar attacked Lynn Wood. Tweet 7. Jack Posobiec published a book that trails the origins of Antifa. Is it connected to the audit? Is it tracking the origins of these violent revolutionaries who tried to destroy the U.S. with Marxist ideas? The promo piece is packed with facts that should help red pill naive Democrats and liberals who do not see the big picture behind Antifa. The main points Posobiec is revealing. Antifa is not a myth. Antifa has led violent revolutions for decades. Now they are here in the US. He states that the book includes the true story of Antifa, but more importantly, how to fight back. Tweet number 8. Main points regarding the Arizona update from Ken Bennett, Arizona Audit Liaison, as given to John Fredericks on his radio show yesterday. Credit for extracting main points goes to Jesse Princey Twitter account. Arizona Audit update as of May 26th, 1. The Coliseum is reserved until the end of June. Ken Bennett, Liaison, is confident the audit will be done by then. 2. Signature on envelopes will be checked. 3. Spot check on voter roll anomalies for phantom voters. 4. Forensic data check on machines done in parallel with other audit work. 5. Several weeks after hand count is finished, a final report will be released. 6. Comprehensive full report will be given to the Senate, and they will make it available to the public. 7. If nothing is wrong with the election, then good. If something is wrong, then they will fix it. 8. If something is wrong, there will be a huge outcry for something to be done so it will not happen again. 9. Ken is looking for the 4 uns. Uncounted, 33,000 ballots in which machines counted no presidential votes. Unsigned, mail-in envelopes. Unfolded, mail-in ballots or inauthentic ballots. Unaccounted for will account for duplicates. Correct number of undelivered returned mail-in ballots, double-counted ballots, phantom voters. 10. Voter rolls for non-citizens will not be a focus, but may be picked up through other random audit checks of voter rolls. 11. By the end of this week, Ken expects over 1 million ballots to be audited. Tweet number 9. Kyle Becker reported, Pennsylvania County appoints top prosecutor for Dominion voting machines error that failed to show GOP ballots. Quote, a Pennsylvania county, Luzerne, is appointing a top prosecutor to investigate a voting machine error that caused Republican ballots not to display. The 11-member council in Luzerne County voted to investigate the odd voting machine error, which occurred in a primary election on May 18th. Quote, County DA Sam Sanguidolce was not in attendance, but said Tuesday night his office will investigate any allegations of potential criminal conduct relating to the May primary, the Times leader reported. He said his predecessor, Stephanie Salavantis, created an election fraud task force that remains intact and will review anything forwarded to the office. Tweet 10. FIF4QL83R, a rebel comment from the audit. Quote, this is all backwards. We are auditing the elections to restore voter rights, restore our election system, restore integrity, restore faith in our government. Fuck that shit. I'm helping the audits to see fuckers go to jail, to prove there was no integrity, to help people understand how we cycle politicians round and round. Once one corrupt fuck holds power, we will be on this merry-go-round again. Fuck that. How about take this U.S. corporation off of D.C.? Take me off of your Social Security scam system. Don't offer me beyond the Constitution anything. That contract was meant for the government to obey it, not rewrite it. Eliminate all agencies. Remove all government added authority and stick to what was actually written. Don't try to tax me because I ain't no slave. Destroy any certificates that we were forced to sign. Once you realize that the Constitution was made to keep the sovereign citizen protected, we will see major change in this country. For your information, government don't make laws. You do. If you don't like something, talk to the people representing you to fix it. End of tweets. Stu Peters Stu Peters is also the author of the Judges thread that I just read at the beginning of this stream. Stu Peters interviewed Maria Zack yesterday, May 26th. Maria Zack is the chairman of nationsinAction.org and an expert on the involvement of Italy in the US 2020 election. She revealed in the interview that she received a piece of intel on May 25th that confirmed that George Papadopoulos was set up. According to her information, the theft of the vote occurred in Italy in a facility of Leonardo, which is a defense contracting firm who has a major satellite contract with the United States government. The shocking information is the involvement of Stefano Serafini. Serafini is a U.S. State Department employee, and he was at the Rome embassy on the Via Veneto location on the night between November 3rd and November 4th. He was involved in the theft of the American election by coordinating with General Bracciano of the EU and a guy named Ignazia Marquita from Leonardo. According to Maria Zack, they were orchestrating it on behalf of Giuseppe Conte and Matteo Renzi, two former prime ministers of Italy. Conte was the prime minister of Italy at the time of the 2020 election, but the government fell and Conte resigned in February 2021. Renzi served as prime minister from 2014 to 2016 and was a senator at the time of our 2020 election. According to Maria Zack's May 25th intel, Stefano Serafini is the individual that coordinated and worked with Joseph Mifsud. Those of you who are Spygate experts, I kind of am, should know who that is. She said she got confirmation that Joseph Mifsud is also indeed the man who got Papadopoulos implicated in the Russia collusion scam, or as it is now called, Spygate. Stefano Serafini, who is a U.S. citizen, has been pretty much on the run, according to Maria Zack. Quote, "You can't find him in his house in McLean, Virginia. I'm told he's still in Italy." She said there is a hunt for information regarding his whereabouts. She said they have been undermining governments and using or weaponizing government against its own citizens and against the electorate that elected President Donald Trump. She also said that her organization already supplied this information to John Durham. Her organization will accept donations as a 501c4, which is not tax deductible, but will allow confidential donations. It's nonpartisan with a goal to clean up government and have everyone live a safe and happy life in freedom. One more tweet. Tweet number 11. Matt Gaetz. Unbossed, unbought, unbowed. That is the mantra of the America First movement. Some troll in the comments gaslighted and said unhinged, but train yourselves to immediately recognize that this is just gaslighting. Quinn Doucette forwarded to the Reading Epic Threads Telegram group this piece from Brian Cates. And while Quinn included it to show that Brian Cates moved closer to using Q lingo, the storm, I just want to use this piece to demonstrate the convergence that I see coming. Brian Cates writes, quote, "What kind of a storm would it be if Durham drops the hammer concurrent with an FBI investigation going public with numerous Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, bribery, tax evasion, money laundering charges, parallel to it coming out that the China virus came out of the Wuhan lab at the same time the Arizona audit results are announced and there was massive fraud? On a scale of 1 to 10, what would that measure?" Brian added a video in which Trump is asked by a reporter, "Mr. President, what did you mean when you said the storm?" And Trump replied, "You will see." Then Brian said, "Here's what I want you to pay attention to. The Durham investigation is real. The FBI investigation into the Biden crime family is real. The CCP virus linked to the Wuhan lab and the U.S. funding is real. The Arizona audit is real. I'm not making any of this up." Before my hopium piece, I have to include this piece. I will place a disclaimer. It is a downer. I think we should go through it together. All right, here we go. On May 25th, David Nino Rodriguez, an American heavyweight boxer, a patriot, and Trump supporter born in El Paso, Texas, and has a successful YouTube channel, had an interview with Juan O'Savin on his show. Near the 7-minute mark, Juan O'Savin is giving Rodriguez a bitter pill. Quote, it will get more dire and tougher. It will test the faith of even the true believers. Some of these next moves that are ahead are really going to be very hard to handle, but they have to be done. Rodriguez asks Juan O'Savin, what does that mean? And Juan O'Savin says with a heavy heart, well, it is a near-death experience for the U.S. It will be more dire, and people need to toughen up. It will be so painful that people will never want to go through it again. People will not be able to see it coming. A gut punch is coming in. Juan says that he does not want to be specific, and he is telling Rodriguez that we patriots need to take a deep breath. It will look like all hope had been lost on the gates of hell. And then O'Savin adds, but there will be a comeback. Rodriguez, who looks really disturbed, presses and asks, will there be an arrest of Donald J. Trump? Juan hesitates and does not answer, but says it will be very hard for people. Rodriguez restructures his question and goes at it again. He is looking for a determined answer. He says, I know they are pressing charges on Trump now. Will they arrest Trump? And Juan goes, enjoy the show, watch, and pray. All right. So I don't know how you guys feel about Juan O'Savin, but it's a pretty mixed bag from what I've heard. I don't know anything about the guy, but we are definitely watching a show. Remember that. Sidney Powell posted on May 24th this Ronald Reagan speech a few days ago. I transcribed it. The speech is truly important. It says, why is America so unique? Because we are a great nation. Our challenges seem complex. It will always be this way. But as long as we remember our first principles and believe in ourselves, the future will always be ours. And something else we learned. Once you begin a great movement, there is no telling where it will end. We the people tell the government what to do. It doesn't tell us. We the people are the drivers. The government is the car. And we decide where it should go and by what route and how fast. Almost all the world constitutions are government documents that tell the people what their privileges are. Our Constitution is a document in which we, the people, tell the government what it is allowed to do. We, the people, are free. But man is not free unless government is limited. There is a clear cause and effect here that is as neat and predictable as a law of physics. As government expands, liberty contracts. Nothing is less free than pure communism. We must keep up our guard, but we must also continue to work together to lessen and eliminate tensions and mistrust. It's still trust, but verify. It's still play, but cut the cards. It is still watch closely, and don't be afraid to see what you see. You won every battle with every call you made and every letter you wrote demanding action. Well, action is needed. This national feeling is good, but it won't count for much and it won't last unless it is grounded in thoughtfulness and knowledge. An informed patriotism is what we want, and we are doing a good enough job teaching our children. And are we doing a good enough job teaching our children what America is and what she represents in the long history of the world? We have got to do a better job of getting across that America is free. Freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of enterprise, and freedom is special and rare. It's fragile. It needs protection. So we have got to teach history based not on what's in fashion, but on what's important. Why the Pilgrims came here, who Jimmy Doolittle was, and what those 30 seconds over Tokyo meant. If we forget what we did, we will not know who we are. Let's start with some basics. More attention to American history and a greater emphasis on civic rituals. And let me offer lesson number 1 about America. All great change in America begins at the dinner table. So tomorrow night in the kitchen, I hope that the talking begins. And children, if your parents haven't been teaching you what it means to be an American, let them know and nail them on it. That would be a very American thing to do. I've spoken of the shining city all my political life, but I don't know if I ever quite communicated what I saw when I said it. But in my mind, it was a tall, proud city built on rocks, stronger than oceans, windswept, God-blessed, and teeming with people of all kinds, living in harmony and peace. And Reagan ends his speech with, goodbye, God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. Have a good stream, Patriots, and a huge thank you, Gunnels, for your beautiful reading, and thank you among my people. And that is the May 27th update. Got another update for you guys. You know, you may get your skin cut on sometime for one reason or another, and you may want to minimize your scar. And the doctor who did the cutting, he's going to say, you need vitamin E oil, or you need this kind of oil, you need this kind of oil, blah, blah, blah. My sister worked for a doctor who would cut on people. He's a cosmetic surgeon. And after a very long time of trial and error, recommending just the right tool for people to take better care of their skin, she invented Angel Paste. Angelpaste.com, promo code Shapiro. It can the world has ever smelled. Vanilla rose. All I have to do is smell it, and it puts me in a better mood. Your skin will drink it up. All right, I can't shill for too many shekels because we've got way too many threads to get to, my friends. So let me say hello to all of you guys. All right. Time to cut off the Reading Epic Threads channel now. Yeah, let's do it. All right, guys, time to cut off the Reading Epic Threads YouTube channel. Now, for the 4 or 5 of you who are here on the Reading Epic Threads YouTube channel, please go to youtube.com/user/pgunnels, where you can watch this stream live, and it'll be just awesome. It'll be great. It'll be like super swell. Check it out. Your skin will drink it up. All right, guys, I'm going to say goodbye to the Reading Epic Threads YouTube channel. I don't think I have to delete it from the internet, though. So, yeah, I think we're good, right? Yeah, we're good. All right. See you on the other channel. All right, we got 114, 105. All right, so there were 9 of you. Not bad. The word's getting out. So I'm probably getting maybe 9 new people. That would be freaking badass, wouldn't it? All right, guys. Now, what are we doing? Christina Jankovic, how are you? Correct, Mein Schatzi? I don't know what that means. All right, so Shilling for Shekels is my new band. Damn right. Gotta shill for them shekels. Trump's storm state. Hello, Chris Ranny. Haven't seen you in a while. Trump's storm statement is very intriguing. You mean this is the calm before the storm? You'll find out. I mean, that was 2017. If that's what you're talking about, Chris Ranny, is there another statement you're talking about? Because I'm always into it. So guess what, guys? I'm trying to decide whether or not, you know what? Why don't we why is the power going out in this place? This is the Omni Hotel in Dallas, Texas. Anyway, what do you say we do from Special Ops Kim, a nice Victor storm? All right, here we go. Oh, great. This is when Victor talks about viruses. I hope he sends me a nice cartoon virus to tell me how much he knows about modern medical science. All right, a thread by Thomas Victor for Dwayne Cates, a.k.a. Soul War. You recently wrote a thread about the pandemic, Fauci, labs, etc. All of this is part of the puzzle, and it helps people understand why Trump allowed the Democrats to think that they defeated him with their cargo cult election theft. Trump was dealing with much more than an election theft, and as you point out, the country is in no shape to deal with information that rocks us to our core. But the pandemic backfired. He should have put quotes around pandemic, right? Friedrich Nietzsche said the following: what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. The German soldier, writer, thinker Ernst Jünger named his bunker Villa Fat of the Lamb Roaming Chicken and amended Nietzsche's pronouncement. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and what kills you makes you strongest of all. He was wounded 7 times in combat and was one of only 11 infantry combat officers to win the Blue Max. He had a very dark, absurdist sense of humor. But in some rare cases, what doesn't kill you does make you stronger. The pandemic showed us, as the truly heroic people we are. Yes, we were called sheep by imbeciles, but in reality, we kept our heads during the closure of the economy and the daily warnings of doom by the utterly corrupt institutions that tried to break us. We are unbroken. Therefore, we're now ready for any level of bad news, especially when we learn that Trump and his allies never stopped fighting. I don't expect Trump to reveal everything due to the fact that we can't let our foreign and domestic enemies know exactly how they were defeated, because defeated they were. Beaten like rented mules. Beaten like Hamas. Yes, people tell us that we're fucktards for thinking that things are happening behind the scenes, but these are surface skaters. If they can't see it, that means nothing's happening. Clandestine and covert warfare don't exist, as we all know. Clandestine is the stuff we eventually learn about, and covert is the stuff we never learn about. I have no doubt that Trump and Pence spent a lot of time offshore in nuclear submarines meeting and communicating by using the many, many sub-hunters and surveillance platforms that currently fill our skies. We'll never know if a sub has a situation room on board. Truth is always stranger than fiction, and always more exciting. All of our enemies are limited people. In the past, the successful were far more skilled and knowledgeable than any present-day politician, tech giant, military leader, or academic. Trump is a throwback. As he once said to a journalist, "I notice everything." Those who know him say that his most salient quality is curiosity. He asks endless questions. He was one of the few American high schoolers at the time to study the Russian language for 4 years. He has a keen interest in science, which is why he was able to streamline the creation and production of treatments and vaccines for COVID-19. Too many Americans hate to think. They prefer being told what to think. And yet, they came through the pandemic without going off their rockers. We're a complex, deeply conflicted people. Governing us is like herding cats. Therefore, we needed a bit more forging. Trump, the metallurgist, let Joe the blacksmith do the final forging. Metallurgists are scientists, while blacksmiths use the hammer. Blacksmithing relies on metallurgy as medicine relies on biology, virology, chemistry, etc. We emerge from the pandemic stronger, which is not what our enemies wanted. I can't predict what will happen. All I know is that the status quo is untenable. And I realized something. Trump said he would act before 2022, but he didn't say that he would act overtly. And that's the thread, guys. Support this channel. Go to angelpaste.com, promo code Shapiro. If you've got a recently formed scar, putting it on there is just about the best thing you can do. If you've got skin that you want to have more supple, if you want to look just a little bit younger, if you want the dead skin to slough off easily without having to scrub with harmful abrasives, angelpaste.com, promo code Shapiro. Your skin will drink it right up. And don't forget, support my trips to all these various things. PayPal.me/Bitcoin Armada. All right, let's see how everybody's doing today. I just love this vibe we got going with the chats today. All right, let's see what we're talking about. Hi. Shadow presidency. Yeah. Click. Sorry, I keep forgetting to say click. Hello, Antiquity Car. Hello, Bonneville Pontiac. Hello, Spirit Fox. All right. Richard Rohr's got the ultimate set of tools. All right, buddy. All right, let's see. Led Zapanzer, what are you saying? I need to bathe in angel paste. Y'all all need to bathe in angel paste. Promo code Shapiro. All right. my friends. And don't forget Vanilla Rose. Oh, and Barbara here's some things. So the Angel Paste storeroom is now restocked with Angel Paste Sugar Scrub. So that's basically a sugar and oil mixture with some kind of tweaks that I'm not familiar with that you just put on your skin, and it just, I mean, it power washes your face in ways that I cannot possibly describe to you. Once I started doing it, I just don't break out anymore. Of course, I get $1 million facial too, but the sugar scrub really, really helps. I'll give you an example. After I started using the sugar scrub, Barbara didn't have to use a bunch of the exfoliating techniques that she had to use. So just fun fact. And second, she's thinking about coming out with a foot cream. So reach out to her. Tell her if you're interested in getting a foot cream, because to put stuff on your feet, it needs to be a thicker type formula. And so there's that. All right. So I just wanted to throw that out there as well. What are you talking about, Christina Jankovic? Always talking in some kind of weird foreign language. All right, guys. Are we ready, guys? Are we ready for Susan, the cracked egglet? Midweek egg update. Hello, Patrick and the gang. Here is a midweek update for you all. I hope you had a great weekend, everyone. And I know Patrick will have loads of fun at the Patriot Roundup. Here I am. By the way, this is from yesterday. Note the videos discussed in these emails can be found on YouTube on Monkeyworks channel. Updates on the skies. Temporary flight restrictions. 1. TFRs. Lots of air shows and space operations around the country. There were a few TFRs that were over immigration centers in Texas, and 2 of them have now dropped. 2. Guantanamo Bay, aka the Spa. There has been a bit of activity here lately, as mentioned last week, as we have had some suspect flights come in that were out of sequence. We had another flight out of Fort Lauderdale. These are not military, they are agency flights. These flights are often followed by something in the news cycle regarding arrests or a raid. Just a note that there is another one of these flights headed down before the weekend per the schedule. These flights are typically bringing someone in. Other prison locations appear to be quiet. 3. Immigration. Around the 20-minute mark, Monkeyworks talks about an article regarding flights landing in the middle of the night with immigrants. We still have flights coming into Kentucky. We have flights from different areas in Texas going into Louisiana and other areas, including Indiana, and then back again. There is a very high-class Gulfstream aircraft that is hiding behind an LLC and flying to different areas on our side of the southern border. There is a top-of-the-line aircraft, and it's sporting a Mexican tail number. There is a lot of activity in and around Texas. 4. Sniffer helicopter. It's in Vegas. At the 30-minute mark of the video, Monkeyworks touches on the crash that happened in that area and another article that goes over a French air-to-air missile that was recovered in Florida last year. Not sure if these two things are related, but I'm throwing it in here because that's what he said. 5. U.S. spy plane is up doing circles over Lebanon. 6. P-8 Subhunter off the coast of Savannah, Georgia. Looks like we will keep an eye on Georgia right now to see if there's any surveillance while they are auditing those ballots. 7. Phoenix. Also keeping an eye on the area of Arizona audit for any type of surveillance aircraft. The PC-12 was back up over the audit. Monkey says it is the Phoenix Police Department, and it was live while he was doing the sit rep the other day. The PC-12 has a 20-mile radius to collect data. 8. Solar activity. There was some sun activity this past week. It was not too strong. This was on Tuesday and Wednesday. The scale rates 1 to 5, with 1 being low, 5 being extreme. These CME, coronal mass ejections, or solar flares, were rated 1 to 2. I am now following a new channel having to do with solar activities and CMEs. If there's anything of note, I will let you know. 9. Biden. He was in Ohio at a community college for remarks this afternoon. He yelled incoherently for 20 minutes before wandering away from the podium mid-speech. For lunch, he had mashed peas that he squished into his ears to see if they would come out of his nose. My sources say Secret Service was still trying to get him cleaned up on the way back to the White House. Also, Biden is set to propose a $6 trillion budget for 2022. The Those close to the Biden Babysitters Club say that at least half of the money is going to green jello production for next year. Needless to say, due to the mashed peas incident, Biden did not have green jello today. Air Force One was listed as NA-17. MAGA forever. Susan, the cracked egglet. And that's the sit rep, my friends. How y'all doing? What's going on in the chat? Oh, I ain't even a little tired today. I've got my energy back. I feel so much better after taking all my little antibiotics and steroids. No jabbies allowed. Damn right, my friend. No jabbies. All right. So what do you say? It's like Chaz, only for sane people? Oh, I could go for a little autonomous zone. What are we talking? Everybody's talking in here without me. Birdseye. Hello, Birdseye. I don't believe I've seen you in here before unless you're somebody I know with a new name. So hello. In New Jersey, being POTUS, golfing was at Trump Tower for OAN interview. Trump said, too hot in Florida summer. True enough. True enough. All right. Hello, Lisa Gag. Yeah, NA is such good hopium. All right, guys. We've got to keep on moving. I just want to say that Elenitsakos is now following me on Twitter. So thank you, Elenitsakos, for following me on Twitter. I mean, not Twitter, Twitch, for following me on Twitch. Hey, guys, follow me on Twitch. I love that. I need to grow my Twitch. All right. Give me a second while I get rid of all the bull crap coming into my email box. All right. Ready for some more hopium, guys? Because we have a Soul War thread. A thread by Dwayne Cates, socialquidvirum.com, also known as Soul War. And don't forget to send him a little money, paypal.me/Brent Cates. Thread, accidental lab release of COVID-19 wasn't acted on sooner because Trump mentioned it. That's it. That's the headline. Trump said that he'd seen evidence that the COVID-19 virus was a lab mistake. Now, because Trump would not share that classified evidence with the mainstream media, who literally twisted and warped every fucking word and deed the man did every day to this day, they are blaming him, saying his statements regarding COVID's origins contributed to them calling it a conspiracy theory. Did you catch the part where the evidence was classified? It's classified to protect the methods and people used to gather that evidence. The news media knows that. Yet, when Trump says white, they instantly say black. Mindless adversaries are easy to manipulate. So the lab release conspiracy theory was instantly dismissed in late April as I, meaning me, laughed my ass off. True to form, the mainstream media fell into another Trump trap as they are forced to point out what he said in April of 2020. And then April 30th, 2020, Trump speculates that China released virus in lab mistake. Then they desperately offer up this pathetic framing of the story. It's Trump's fault. The lab release theory wasn't taken seriously. After 5 years of Donald Trump chipping away at their credibility, this narrative is going about as you would expect. Badly. I make no bones about what I think regarding COVID's origin. It was created from bat viruses in a lab and then doctored via gain-of-function research and then deliberately released to look like an accident. Here's the slow rollout of revelations. 1, past, we think it came from a lab in China. 2, present, we know it was accidentally released from a lab in China. 3, future, thanks to newly discovered evidence, we now know it was deliberately released by X, Y, and Z. Fauci, I'll never refer to this fascist gnome as a doctor again, and the NIH have been revealed as having funded gain-of-function research at the Wuhan Virology Lab up until 2014 with our tax dollars. Now, this is coming out. Fauci and his boss at the NIH sent an additional $7 million US taxpayer dollars to the virology clinic in Wuhan to research something called spillover potential. Trump's known all of this since January. So why was Fauci front and center with Trump at the COVID pressers? By the way, since January 2020. Simple. Fauci represents some very dark people who wanted to destroy Trump. Trump was using a U.S. government asset from the CDC to mitigate the harm that asset and others had caused. And in my opinion, he was setting Fauci up. Feel the love. I have said this from day one after reading Dr. Charles Lieber's federal charges off the DOJ website. It was, is, and will be a roadmap to what's slowly being rolled out. It has to be slow because we don't want massacres on our streets. It was the Wuhan Technical University Harvard Joint Nanokey Laboratory before it was shortened to the Wuhan Virology Clinic. It's also time for me to say this. We subsidize our enemies' terror campaigns to kill us. We all know about the pallets of cash sent to Iran by President Zero. We just saw President Biden send $500 million U.S. taxpayer dollars to the Palestinians, read Hamas. Now we learn about Harvard and the NIH sending millions to that lab in Wuhan. What's going on? Allow me to explain. Pick one. We want you to attack our people so we can really stick it to them. Pick two. Okay, we'll do it. Great Satan. But do you expect us to fund the attack ourselves? Pick three. Okay, here, pallets of cash. Pick one and two. We want the Abraham Accords to die yesterday. Help us out here, Hamas. Pick three. You know the drill, CCP Joe. We're happy to kill Jews all day long, but we're not going to do it on our dime. Pick four. Roger that. Here you go. 500 million American dollars. Pick one. We need to paralyze, lock down the American people long enough to consolidate power in the U.S. Help us out, Chinese Communist Party. We find your proposal agreeable, but R&D are prohibitively expensive. Oh, no problem. NIH and U.S. taxpayer dollars to the rescue. Fascists of the world unite to terrorize your tax dollars to oppress, abuse, and murder you. Yes, this is real. Some very rich and very stupid fascists are driving all of this with your money. It's all coming out. The stolen election and the completely and totally accidental pandemic are inexorably linked. This magazine article lays out how they stole the 2020 election, the Time magazine article. Is it boasting or a subtle reveal to us by Judas goats? You're going to find it's a lot like Cuomo and 4 other governors choosing to place COVID patients among the elderly was clearly designed to kill. Whether that was demonic malice or instrumental incompetence, the result is the same. I knew about the CCP's Bat Lady in April of 2020 and what she was trying to create to please her CCP masters. Everyone in DC and the mainstream media, except Trump, have been trying to erase all fingerprints of Harvard and the NIH from the coming fallout. #snort. Yeah, good luck with that. Do you see why they went so hard at Trump after January 6th and you and me? I suppose if we were the Chinese peasants or Russian serfs they think we are, that would have worked. As it is, we're mocking them mercilessly. As the relentless and methodically gathered evidence mounts, every single person directly involved in the stolen election and the pandemic are going to pay a heavy price. Before visions of firing squads and needles in arms dance through your heads, I need to say it will be done a lot like Nuremberg, as in meticulously and clinically, to ensure, as Trump has said repeatedly, this never happens again. America's favored son is circling back to the White House. Hold fast. And that's the end of that thread. Support Dwayne Cates. paypal.me/Brent Cates. He's Brent Dwayne Cates. Support him, paypal.me/Brent Cates. Now, there's a conversation that goes on after this, an addendum. All of the United States taxpayer money I'm referring to, everyone knows about it in DC and knew about it during Trump's COVID pressers. The mainstream media cover these new revelations in a way that's damage control, which I just shredded with my own framing of the reason why. Fascist billionaires are using America's enemies to push us where they want us. And yes, God damn it, yes, when simple terrorism and MSM mind poison weren't enough, they used a pathogen. They used their command of our money to pay for it. January 2017, it's all been right there. But Trump and company had to protect American lives first. Now comes the reveal. Slowly. And then Debbie asks, that's the same side eye he gave Hillary. Oh, yeah, hang on. He posts a picture of Trump giving Fauci side eye, the way he gave Hillary side eye at that dinner picture where they're wearing an Al Smith dinner. And then Dwayne responds, yep, and he's working on creating an America where they have no place in the United States government. As Thomas Wichter has said repeatedly, do you want orange jumpsuits to feed your ego or to have that time and energy used to create an amazing future that freezes these scumbags out of authority over your life? Choose wisely. Having said that, the worst of the worst will be sorted out and made an example of. All right. So, and then Slag responds, time and energy. Amen to that. And it's already underway. Look at the state legislatures taking their newly remembered powers out for a spin. Before the steal, state legislatures wouldn't dare cross the United States government. Now, the U.S. government's authority is being challenged everywhere. Dwayne responds, yep. You might say we are being immunized against a lot of things right now. Slag, it's not hard to see the following scenario development. State legislator, we have uncovered election fraud. We are decertifying our election. Libs, you can't do that. State legislature, we just did. Sue us. And they'll do so. In a court landscape that is highly originalist, even if Biden isn't removed, he cannot govern. This would be such a distraction that it would paralyze the executive branch, House and Senate too, if their elections were decertified as well. And NSP responds, this might even be Trump's goal. Slag responds, I think hobbling Biden is part of Trump's plan, but I don't think it's the goal. Here are several things in this plan underway that I can observe. 1, getting even. I cannot stress this enough. By the way, we've moved on to Slag now. I cannot stress this enough. My research on DJT leads me to believe that he will never let the steal go. He'd rather die than let the Democrats, foreign governments, and the media escape his wrath. No, they stole the presidency from him. He will take something even more valuable from them. Look at this quote from The Art of the Comeback. I think he will destroy the DC corruption culture. That's what they treasure most. Here's the quote. As a result of these experiences, my thinking has changed. I'm sharper. I'm warier. I believe in an eye for an eye, like the Old Testament says. Some of the people who forgot to lift a finger when I needed them, when I was down, they need my help now. And I'm screwing them against the wall. I'm doing a number and I'm having so much fun. People say it's not nice, but I really believe in getting even. Slag continues. 2, wresting control of the Republican Party from the establishment. He's already done this. Watch. No Republican will get elected without his support. He's turned the entire Republican Party into a fire-breathing MAGA monster that has a voracious appetite for raw donkey meat. He's telling the establishment, you thought you got rid of me? Here's 100 more politicians just like me. Screw you. 3, killing off the mainstream media. The MSM was hurting when DJT took office. His election did two things. Gave the media something to cover that would sell ad revenue. Gave the media venture capital investment that wanted DJT gone. Now he's gone. And so is all of the mainstream media's revenue. The MSM became rich off of the DJT money that he brought them, but they failed to diversify. Now the single investment they had, Donald Trump, is gone. And they did it to themselves. 4. U.S. military aircraft. There have been a huge amount of military aircraft flights. Most of these are the big dollar aircraft with enhanced sensors. Each time an aircraft flies, it's killing itself just a little bit. Yes, maintenance puts this off, but there's a finite number of hours you can operate an aircraft. The military wouldn't put time on their most expensive airframes unless there was a darn good reason. I think we saw the reason recently in Israel. The U.S. military is preparing for if the silent war goes hot. IDF, Israel Defense Forces, mapped the tunnels of Hamas. The U.S. military probably is doing something similar here in preparation to defend the nation from a threat. And that's the blockbuster threat, my friends. Support this channel, of course, paypal.me/Bitcoin Armada. We'll be doing all sorts of things. The Trump rallies are coming up. This weekend is going to be freaking awesome. I can't wait to do some impromptu live streams. And then, of course, also angelpaste.com, promo code Shapiro. Don't forget, it's perfect for removing dead skin without scrubbing. It's perfect for preserving the moisture you currently have and adding additional moisture. Invented by my sister. She worked for a cosmetic surgeon, and she used it as a formula specifically for people right after surgery. Angelpaste.com, promo code Shapiro. Your skin will drink it right up. CooperandFrench.com, promo code Shapiro. I don't have my horsehair brush, so I'm going to have to shave with trash, and it's going to feel like I'm just kind of it's gonna feel like I'm shaving with a broken dinner plate. Okay. So anyway, let's keep on moving our candy asses. Hey, ADF360M, how are you? All right. So ADF360M says, disagree. Military doesn't give a shit about hours. They just milk the taxpayer. Well, I mean, doesn't the military sometimes run out of stuff? I mean, it's not like they have an unlimited budget all the time. Just somebody check me on that. All right. Cheesy Moto. Thank you for following me on Twitch. Cheesy Moto. Jeff Bishop, how are you? All right. I am not. Okay, so Jeff Bishop asks a very important question. How am I going to get the weekly $1 million Red Skull operation from a remote location? No how. It's not going to happen. So I'm just going to have to get ugly for a week, but it'll be fine. I can gradually have my skin get zits for a week, and then I can go back to having perfect skin again. All right. Chris, yeah, that was a badass thread. We got, guys, this is going to be this. I have limitless energy and plenty of stuff to read you. So let's keep going. From Special Ops Kim, a short thread about Trump. From Slag. Oh, wait. Hang on. Yeah, that was the second part of that last thing. All right, awesome. What do you say we do another Soul War thread that just came in? Doesn't that sound awesome? A thread by Soul War. James O'Keefe and Project Veritas are almost single-handedly doing what lawmakers in D.C. should have been doing the last 10 plus years, holding the mainstream and social media fascists accountable. True, we only recently realized they are literally fascists, but O'Keefe is making a lot of good moves here. Being financially crushed for speaking out is a big incentive to keep quiet. Ha, whoopsie. Rock on, James. Human motivation on display. Scott Adams is covering this brilliantly. Sure he is. All right, sorry. Editorializing. Oh, God, we got to talk about fucking Scott Adams now. Back when Dwayne and I were both on Twitter, we would chat using Twitter DMs, and we would And he would have to listen to me lose my shit about Scott Adams, and he would be the calmer one and say, yeah, I know Scott has a tendency to piss people off, but we gotta keep a big tent here, Pat. Come on, don't lose your mind this time. And he was a very calming influence. You see, when it comes to the contrasting worldviews of the American dream versus Marxist dogma, Americans extol merit or motivation and have developed ways to create or stimulate that in our systems and processes, education, businesses, even parenting. Whereas the Marxist left act as if human motivation doesn't even exist. It is never a factor in any of their systems or processes, and boy, does it show. They sent city folk out to the fields to be farmers, thinking people are all the same. Millions starved. Ronald Reagan. My philosophy of life is that if we make up our mind what we are going to make of our lives, then work hard toward that goal, we never lose. Somehow we win out. I hope you're right, Ronald Reagan. I hope you're right. I can't believe I just said that. Sorry. Okay. Anyway, Karl Marx. My object in life is to dethrone God and destroy capitalism. Man, you're just like openly a Satanist, bro. It's so jacked up, man. Maybe he repented before his death. Zero consideration for any of the variables, motivations, and capabilities. Just murder that kulak farmer for wanting to keep his land and then assign a city dweller to take his place, like replacing a burnt-out light bulb with a banana. The fascist billionaires Trump outed as causing the lion's share of America's current woes use their wealth and influence to destroy any and all threats to their vanity project agendas. Recent history is rife with their victims. You bet people are afraid to speak out. Up until now, the price people paid for whistleblowing or speaking truth to fascist power has been high. Fast and furious whistleblowers come to mind. They were retaliated against heavily. Now, this is a Democrat-led Congress. Their whistleblowers were thinly disguised attack dogs trying to get Trump. They have been able to do this in the mainstream media with impunity right up until 2021. Now, social media is in the same boat. What happened to change this? Project Veritas, not government. From Project Veritas, some men are born great. Some men achieve greatness. Some have greatness thrust upon them. Of all the whistleblowers I've interviewed, Morgan at Facebook was so clear of purpose, authentic, to the point, unequivocal, no bullshit. I know there are thousands out there just like him. They just need to know they will be okay if they come forward. It's hard knowing there is evil in the world, but rest assured, there are a lot of good people who are in positions of authority who actually can do something about the problems we face. Their heroism is quite contagious. Incentivize them by supporting Morgan's wife and 2 kids at givesendgo.com/expose Facebook. Back to Dwayne. Our lawmakers are compromised. Accept it. As the town square turned from actual to digital, these weasels slipped into your city, county, and state governments to turn your American dream into a dystopian collectivist farm-style nightmare. The pandemic exposed them all. Americans began to realize, to their horror, that these insaniacs are dead serious in their unbridled and completely un-American intentions and agendas to fundamentally transform how you, your family, and future generations will live. Abuse of the American people is their specialty. They thrive while we suffer. Those who profess merit are mocked, censored, and banned, and those who promote equal outcomes are elevated and praised. Their ire was insurmountable, their scorn deadly to reputation and career, and driving all of the fear and intimidation these fascist mafiosi used was financial ruin. Your job, fired. Your career, over. Your profession, no one will hire you. You'll be a pariah. Your family, ruined and struggling. Not any more. This is an amazing lesson in human motivation. Watch what happens now with Project Veritas Legal and with future whistleblowers. People stuck serving the interests of the demonic parasites will suddenly realize they can speak benevolent truth to malevolent power without their lives being upended and destroyed. And these degenerates love to abuse people. Everything fascists do is based on fear and violence. O'Keefe is removing one of their key weapons before your eyes in real time. This will be more than enough incentive to motivate many people who have been complicit in what the mainstream media and big tech have been doing to turn Americans into un-Americans. Most people have no idea what the media is doing to them. Think of all media like a river. They want it to flow in the yin direction towards entropy. These people all project their hatred of themselves onto us. They are hollow shells of a humanity forever trying to fill themselves with power and wealth instead of yang, our flow. We control ourselves. They want to control you. The formula for stopping them is simple, and James O'Keefe is following it. Be brave. Speak up, or let cancel culture eat you alive and ruin your children's future. Compare that to be brave, do something, and be rewarded with financial stability. And it's only going to get worse as the avalanche of bad news deluges those using bad faith, mainstream and social media to try to terrorize us all into serfdom. Again, they have no clue who we are. Trying to control everything like the control freaks they are. Picture Saul sneering the word fascists. They are going to lose everything that matters as we watch. And as one of Project Veritas's prime boosters begins to hold rallies where he talks about all of the terrible, no good, very bad things these shit weasels have done. With that self-same mainstream and social media being forced to cover and boost it themselves. Now that's what you call ironic. Hashtag giggle snort. That's the end of the thread. And don't forget, guys, to support the works of Brent Dwayne Cates. PayPal.me/Brent Cates. Capital B, capital C. PayPal.me/Brent Cates. And if you want to look amazing, and if you want to smell amazing, and if you want your skin to shine like it's never shined in your entire life, angelpaste.com, promo code Shapiro. I strongly recommend Vanilla Rose, but guess what? I just remembered this. She's going to start offering pineapple scent. Get it while it's available. That's all I'm saying. Angelpaste.com, promo code Shapiro. Your skin will drink it up. And if you want to give me some money, paypal.me/Bitcoin Armada. Okay. Guess what, guys? We got so much more to do. So much more to do, my friends. I don't even know how we're going to be here all night. I don't know what to say. Hey, what's up? Kim's here. Pandemic is over. Kim, have you noticed? Okay, Kim, are you in Texas? I keep forgetting where you are. Yeah, as I drove up to Dallas, I had to stop a couple of times because I was a genius and decided to drink a gallon of water and then go on a road trip. So I had to stop a couple of times to pee. And every time I stopped at some rural gas station, literally everybody was mask-free. It was beautiful. I have missed human faces. All right. I would keep talking to you guys. You know what? We have plenty of time. If this stream goes 2.5 hours, it goes 2.5 hours. And it might. Adam Krigler. He is a delightful normie, Carla. I like him a lot as a human being. All right. Let's see here. I do remember that. The rest of us were busy building businesses, raising families, and otherwise being normal. And we had no idea that the elections were all rigged back then, too. Couldn't have put it better myself. Lakeside 2002. Pat. Guys. Ben Shapiro says Ben Shapiro is really bad at keeping his skin moist and supple. But if you go to angelpaste.com, promo code Ben, you can get the stuff that your skin will drink right up. 5 pennies makes a nickel. Okay. Anyway, let's see here. Barbara just commanded me to do Ben Shapiro. That's why I did that. All right, guys. Guy, I got a wonderful letter from the Harris County Republican Party. Ooh, let's see who signs this letter at the end. Signed by the Harris County Republican Party. I wonder what slime. But I need to go to this meeting, guys. Is this a meeting? No, this is just them asking for money. All right, well then, fuck them. I hate the Republican Party. I do, like the bottom of my heart. All right, we got another one. Special Ops Kim, New Wichter, and it's short. A thread by Thomas Wichter, socialquidvirum.com. Don't support them financially. They're ruled by a scumbag. Congressional commissions. The Republicans had no choice in killing the January 6th commission. This is because of congressional bylaws that allow commission heads to write false conclusions not supported by the commission, and the press reports only the conclusion. I'll give you the best example. Valerie Plame, the Jew-hating former CIA agent. Okay, well, there she is. I knew what she looked like. You guys don't need to know what she looked like. Plame was married to the late Joe Wilson, a former U.S. ambassador. Some stupid-ass commission was set up to determine if George W. Bush lied us into war with Iraq. Joe Wilson had been sent to Nigeria to investigate whether or not the Iraqis had tried to buy uranium for nuclear weapons. Wilson testified that the Iraqis had tried to buy the uranium, so Bush was telling the truth. But the Democrat commission head wrote in the conclusion that the Iraqis had not tried to buy uranium, and therefore Bush lied. That was what the press reported. After testifying to the truth, Joe Wilson then made the rounds on TV telling everyone that Bush had lied. It didn't matter that in the commission report, we see that Wilson had exonerated Bush. The damage was done, and trying to fight the lie was shoveling shite against the tide. Democrats had announced beforehand that they would conclude that Trump caused the January 6th stupidity. As one congressman said on TV, the plan was to make Trump a total pariah in the whole country. Until the congressional bylaws are changed, these commissions are destructive to the country. Congress needs to do away with the proviso that allows commission heads to write false conclusions. The way Congress gets around total dishonesty is by letting a rebuttal to be included in the conclusion, but it's never reported. The rebuttal is physically separated from the conclusion, and the conclusion is the only thing reported. We saw multiple fake investigations into Trump and 2 fake impeachments. The legislative branch of the federal government is not functional. We must elect enough Trump Republicans so that Congress is completely reformed. It can be done. You can play your part by giving primary candidates a much broader latitude to be, well, weirdos. As long as they do the right thing, you should overlook their mean tweets and so on. All that matters is results. Some establishment Republicans are doing the right thing, but we, the voters, need to put federal government reform at the head of the list of our priorities. Otherwise, the government will screw us in perpetuity. And that's the thread. All right. How's everybody doing in the chat? All right. So we have an absolute assload of Claude Bernardin poetry coming. Oh, wait, no, this is not a poem. Intel Hopium. All right, so this is from Claude. So I'm going to read this to you, but bearing in mind that Claude has given me a lot of provisos here, namely that I need to take this with a grain of salt. All right. So this is from Claude Bernardin, restoredrepublic.com, and Judy Byington. 1. The cabal pedophilia rings throughout the world in Jerusalem, Israel, pedo-Satanist, Freemason Society, psychopaths, Washington, D.C., Brussels, NATO headquarters, Octagon, deep state headquarters, also political government, deep state, Washington, top dogs being arrested. For what that's worth. 1. Washington, D.C. and White House and Gitmo, military tribunals ongoing surrendering criminals and traitors behind the scenes in D.C. Many turning witnesses or soon to be retiring and leaving DC. Others facing prison and worse, depending on offenses and crimes against humanity. Cabal influences have been severely limited in recent days due to global arrests. 3, Fauci is being rumored that he may be in hiding and on the run. Guys, hasn't he just been on TV? His wife recently purchased 3 estates in foreign countries that do not allow extradition. China has admitted that this pandemic began in a lab in Wuhan, funded by Soros, BlackRock, Bill Gates, and Fauci. The Chinese Communist Party have admitted it was a treasonous attempt to take down the global economy to bring in a new dominant world order. How is it treasonous? All right, many NATO countries were involved. I mean, they're not traitors to themselves. All right. Past days, China news. U.S. military operations, special forces were in China liberating the Chinese people from the communist tyranny and regime. Much battling in the Red Sea, southern region, Canada, Philippines, Russia, Australia, Britain, Japan, and South Korea sent troops to aid the U.S. troops in their secret mission. Okay, interesting enough. Thank you, Claude. But let's talk more generally about this stuff. Okay, so Cheesy Moto says you forgot DUMS. DUMS stands for Deep Underground Military Bases. Now, I haven't forgotten that. And I don't have anything that makes me want to just, mount my flag to the concept of a deep underground military base. It doesn't mean they're not there. It means I don't have anything that I feel comfortable saying makes me believe strongly that these things are real. So I'm sorry about that. But I think what we really need to focus on at this time is just how completely strange everything has been for so long. We have seen so many unbelievably strange things that indicate that nothing is as it seems. Here's some things I think I know. Not that I think I know them, but things that I believe, that I feel close to knowing. That Joe Biden is not able to exercise any presidential power whatsoever, and that none of his orders are enforced, and that everything we are seeing is purely for show. It is for show to prevent the enemies of the United States from burning our cities down, which they still can do. It turns out that if our enemies want to, they can have mobs of people burn everything down in a city center. And the prosecutors in those city centers also work for foreign enemies and will not prosecute the criminals. Just think about that as a way of waging war on a people. Just buy up all their prosecutors' elections and then pay the mentally ill to burn shit down in those places. Think about how simple that is, how diabolical, and how hard it is to fix propaganda, media, as a weapon of mass destruction. You get the people to believe in Marxism. You start buying up prosecutors' offices, and you tell the mentally ill that they're entitled to burn everything the fuck down. It's a way of waging war using media. That's what's been happening to us. So when I think about what's going on right now, I know that Donald Trump also understands the nature of that conflict. He knows that simply leaving the world stage would leave the United States to die. The chance of that happening is 0. This is a covert war. Now, here's another thing. I don't know why I thought this. Old Victor said that clandestine is the thing you eventually learn about, and covert is the thing you never learn about. I know he's usually right about this stuff. I just want to be absolutely certain, because I felt like it was the opposite way. Clandestine means hidden, where the aim is for the operation to not be noticed at all. Covert means deniable, such that if the operation is noted, it is not attributed to a group. That's just Google, guys. All right, what does clandestine activity mean? DoD doctrine defines clandestine activities as, quote, operations sponsored or conducted by governmental departments in such a way as to assure secrecy or concealment that may include relatively passive intelligence collection and information gathering operation. What is an example of a covert action? See, historic examples of covert action include the CIA's orchestration of the 1953 coup in Iran. So if we know about that, doesn't that mean covert is the one you eventually know about? I think Victor has those two things reversed. I've been wrong before, but just bear that in mind. All right. Yep. All right. So we got guys. We got a lot. Okay. So let's see here. Let me get this out to you. Let's finish this. Mike Lindell. Hang on.
The content we do is quite sensitive.
Oh, yeah. It's going to have one of those synthesized voices. I don't like that. So I'm going to skip that. Thanks, though. I appreciate it, Claude. I did not know that. All right. A poem by Claude Bernardin. I once lived in the land of right far left of freedom, independence, liberty, and life. A place filled with arrogance, judgment, hate, and spite. Those other towns were happy as could be. All blue skies and white, cloud angels, innocence so sweet. But Mr. Right, he knew better than those foolish, gleeful boors, always praying to God, always opening doors. So he built a grand castle in the shadows, away from their smiles, and then a right kingdom stretching miles and miles, claiming empathy and hope, using threats, dominance, cheating, lying, hate, and racism as control. Yes, I once lived in the land of right, far left of freedom, independence, happiness, and life. Oh, he believed so strongly in what he thought was right. Yet I have known such a tortured soul, tirelessly tossing out my values with abuse and destruction so cold. I now live near peace and redemption in the town of liberty. It's a half mile or so down from glory and jubilee. I'm getting this one over to Jill. Jill, if you could find a way to get this over to the social media groups. I love that poem, Claude. I'm so glad I read it. I'm out of Special Ops Kim, and now I've got total backup because Claude is a prolific writer. So I had to get into that. Okay, so now this is from Richard Rohrer, and it is a YouTube video from, give me a second. Ooh, it's 17 minutes. There's no chance I'm playing that, but thank you for sending it, Richard Rohrer. Very much appreciate it. I, generally speaking, am almost never going to have time to watch a video because I've already got my personal information sources. Here's something that we haven't covered today. Have you heard what happened in New Hampshire yesterday? Oh shit, guys. I hope this guy doesn't nerf my channel for doing this, but I need to find this. Give me 1 second. Give me a second, guys. You're going to want to see this. All right. This is 6 minutes and 24 seconds.
Ladies and gentlemen, this short video will be a summary report.
All right. Do you think that this guy who is this is like a dude who is just standing there talking and he's totally on our side. There's no chance he's going to freaking go after me for playing his stuff. I'm just going to have to take my chances on this one. Okay. So let's share this, 'cause this is a big deal, guys. I don't know if you know what just got discovered in New Hampshire, but it's a freaking game changer. And I can't believe I almost forgot about it. I just do all the stuff that you guys send me, and this is something I actually found. Well, these guys actually found. So let me make sure that this is everything you need it to look like. All right, I'm going to play this.
From the 2-hour live stream from... Ladies and gentlemen, this short video will be a summary report from the 2-hour live stream from last night with CanCon, Marilyn Todd, Professor Clements, Susan Sittenbrino, and Matt DePerno. Now, if you want to watch the full show, I'll leave a link in the description of this video, but I know a lot of you guys don't have the time, and it's very important that this information gets out to as wide an audience as possible fast, because the explosive evidence that you're about to see in this video requires action immediately. And if you thought we had probable cause to get a statewide audit in New Hampshire before, Wait till you guys get a load of this. So Marilyn Todd was supposed to come on my show last night and give me and CanCon a tutorial as to how to get the tabulator tapes from our county clerk's office. And the reason we were going to do this is because Marilyn Todd is a financial auditor who's already collected all the tapes for the state of New Hampshire and is now in the process of putting together what we're calling a citizen's audit. So this effort is extremely important, and we need to get a grassroots going in all of the states throughout New England because you all have the same supplier of your machines, which is LHS. But guys, last night the tutorial video completely fell to the wayside because just 1 hour before the show, Marilyn Todd sent me an image that absolutely floored me. In fact, I couldn't believe what I was seeing, and I called her immediately. But she was so frazzled, she couldn't even speak. So I called CanCon, and then he called Matt DePerno. And the reason he called Matt DePerno is because he knew Matt has seen this type of thing before in Michigan. So he wanted to hear from an expert if what we were looking at was in fact legit. And guys, we had confirmation. It was exactly what we thought it was. Boom. Ladies and gentlemen, what you're looking at right now is undeniable, irrefutable, earth-shattering corruption of the highest caliber. This is the audit trail of one of the machines, and this audit trail tells us exactly what was programmed by the auditors with timestamps. Okay, so we're going to zoom in here and look at this item by item, and I want you guys to take screenshots so that you guys can analyze this for yourself. So item 27, session start at 11:46, and this was on 5/12, which would be Wednesday, the day after the audit started. And if you look at item 29, the incorrect PIN was entered. Then on item 30, session was successfully started. And I believe what we're seeing on item 31 and 32 is confirmation that we have admin level access into the machine. I could be wrong, but that's what I think it is. Now, item 33, memory card reset, which means that all of the data was cleared off of the memory card, which gets rid of all of the images and other data, which according to federal law is supposed to be preserved for 22 months. That's 52 USC 20701. And that's also in spite of the fact that Ken Eyring filed a right to know request. So they were supposed to take forensic images of the state of the memory cards before they were cleared, and they were not allowed to do this. Now, let's jump down to item 37, which is session start on 11/3, which tells us that the November 3rd election was actually reopened. Then on item 39, ballot count start, item 42, ballot count end, then the totals report, and then session start on 11/5. Okay, so what we just saw may still be a little confusing, but what we just looked at was proof that the November 3rd election was reopened, and who knows what happened, and then it was closed and backdated. According to Matt DePerno, the only logical reason that anyone would reopen the election is for ballet stuffing. And we know for a fact, because it was discovered in Antrim County, Michigan's lawsuit, that there's a fatal flaw within the source code of the machines, which allows the election to be reopened, and then you can run stuff through, and then you can close it and backdate it so that everything matches up. And if you think about it, anybody can do this at like 4 in the morning, in the middle of the night, and then they backdate it, everything matches up so that even a hand recount won't tell you the truth. Hand recounts are a total joke knowing this piece of information. The only thing that could possibly tell you the truth is a kinematic scan of the actual paper, which is why I'm compelling all of you people in New Hampshire and around the country to get this message out to as many people as you possibly can. And then you have to compel your legislature to conduct a statewide audit now. And you should get a protective order over all of the machines before anybody has a chance to tamper with them. And let's remember, because we've talked about this in multiple videos now, it's easy to get a statewide audit. Your legislature has the power to issue subpoenas just like Arizona. You need the judiciary chair to write a written report, and then that gets signed by the Senate president, and they're legal and enforceable. Or you get the election law committee to introduce the subpoenas. They vote on it, then it goes to the Senate for a vote, then the Senate president signs it, and then they're legal and enforceable. So there's two paths to victory, but the quickest one is the judiciary chair. But here's the thing. Marilyn Todd told us already that the judiciary chair has absolutely no intention of doing this, which is why I think we need to give him a couple more phone calls, send him some more emails, and some more certified mail, given this new information. So I'll put all of his contact information in the description of this video, as well as the Senate president and the election law committee chair. Now, guys, it's so important that we get this message out there to all of the people of New Hampshire and get a restraining order on all of the election material now. And it's also important that we start piecing this together using all the information that we have combined with the live stream footage from the Wyndham, New Hampshire audit. And we start looking at things and seeing how we can match this up to what we just saw, which is why I'm calling on you guys to help out. Let's crack this case together. Let's put the pressure on the legislature, and let's show these people that we are not going to tolerate this corruption. Now, with all that being said, guys, I'm definitely going to follow up with this situation as soon as I get more information. So click subscribe to this channel, leave a like, leave a comment down below, share this with everybody that you possibly can, especially if they live in New Hampshire. But anyways, that's it for now, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.
All right, so that's Nick Moseder, Nickmoseder. He's out of New Hampshire. He's outstanding. I'm a follower of his. I didn't know that B Hizzy had another video, so I'll be checking that out later. But what's going on in New Hampshire is going to be a bigger deal than anybody realizes, I think, personally. All right, let's do another poem from Claude. Turns out the parade is just a charade. They don't care about America anymore. I caught a glimpse of the White House flag falling, then Congress dragged it around on the floor. I saw Lincoln's statue emblazoned with graffiti, Caitlyn Jenner running on the cover of Wheaties, a polar bear wave to Al Gore. Mr. Trump, if you can hear me, I praise your name to our Lord. You and yours will make this country greater than it was before. And speaking of Wheaties and Frosted Flakes, that are great too, Kellogg's and General Mills need a new and improved. May I suggest Orange Man Munchies in red, white, and blues? With fiber and honey and vitamin B2. What a great value product. Heart healthy and reduced. With a glass of fresh Orange Man juice. Hey, why not throw in some happiness and goodwill too? America, be grateful. One serving just might not do. What a great way to start your day with the red, white, and blue. It's another awesome one, bro. All right, I'm going to shoot that over to Jill if she wants to share it to the social media groups, because I'm loving these poems. You're prolific, my friend. All right. So I think we're going to do General Flynn's holiday message, and then we'll chat a little bit and wrap up. Thanks to Rex Tullis, we have America's future, General Michael Flynn, this Memorial Day. Let's stop complaining and start doing. It's a simple fact of life that people like to complain. If you don't believe me, just watch the evening news. Even when we say we don't, each one of us has an innate desire to lament everything that is wrong with the world. Sadly, this problem is nothing new. In Scripture, we read how the children of Israel complained that they were going to die of starvation in the wilderness. The Lord answered, in spite of their attitude, by miraculously providing them with a daily supply of food that tasted like wafers made with honey. Incredulously, it wasn't long after that the Israelites were complaining that the Lord's miraculous all-you-can-eat buffet was not good enough for them. I understand the allure of this mentality. I can complain with the best of them. Yet, patriots can't pretend that our complaints alone will solve America's problems. If we are going to see meaningful change, we must be willing to take action. In his essay titled The Way to Wealth, Benjamin Franklin said, "Friends and neighbors complain that taxes are indeed very heavy. We are taxed twice as much by our idleness. Let us hearken to good advice, and something may be done for us. God helps them that help themselves." Franklin not only wrote these words, but lived them too. He was a patriot, willing to take action when others were only willing to complain. All of our founding fathers exemplified that same spirit of tenacity, but I find it much more encouraging to know that they made a way for us to turn our complaints into action. In the First Amendment, we have secured a right to petition the government for a redress of grievances. These words mean that American citizens have a right not only to air our complaints, but to do so with the understanding that we demand action from the proper authorities. The proper authority to petition will vary depending upon the grievance, but the inalienable right of the citizen remains true regardless. Exercising this right is a patriot's responsibility, a fact highlighted by the Memorial Day we commemorate in just a few days. As we memorialize the sacrifice of countless brave men and women who gave everything to secure our liberties, empty complaints should taste like sawdust on our lips. We have no excuse not to honor their courage with our actions. If you don't know where to begin, start small. Raise the American flag for Memorial Day and recite the Pledge of Allegiance with your family. If you can't get a flag that quickly, Flag Day is just around the corner. Once you've done that, find good groups of active patriots in your area. Internet forums can never take the place of the camaraderie that comes with local patriots acting together to better their communities. I also hope you will listen to the first episode of my new podcast, where I dig deeper into why Americans should stop complaining and start doing. You can find the podcast exclusively at americasfuture.net, where you can also leave a donation to support our ongoing work. Thank you. Sincerely, Lieutenant General Michael T. Flynn, USA, retired, Chairman, America's Future, Inc. To donate, go to americasfuture.net/donate. So, guys, what we're going to do tomorrow is let me just get it out. It's called Patriot's Voice. And here are all the people who are going to be there. Go through them one by one, see if you guys like any of these names. Lieutenant General Michael T. Flynn, Sidney Powell, Lynn Wood, Jason Sullivan, Doug Billings, Wayne Dupree, George Papadopoulos, Juanita Broderick, Evan Sayette, Louis Gomert, Lieutenant Colonel Alan West. I think either he or Sidney Powell need to run for governor of Texas in the primary. Commissioner Sid Miller, Dr. Judy Mikovits, Andre Popa, Gene Ho, Bevelyn Beatty, Edmie Chavanez. Now we're getting into names you might not have heard. Brad Getz, Zach Payne, a.k.a. Red Pill 78. I'm sure a bunch of you know who that is. IET, Jordan Sather, The Kate Awakening, Henry Davis, Bernie Suarez, Erica Kias, Jason Frank, Andy Meehan, Vicky O'Brien, Trenton White. Entertainment, Mark Winston Kirk and JT Wild, DJ Jeff Rush, Bella Popa. All right. It's kind of a little who's who of patriots. So yeah. Well, we will definitely I will be doing my very best to see if I can round up some of those people to come talk to us. So, guys, once again, to support what I'm doing today and what I will be doing in the future, drop a little cash at paypal.me/Bitcoin Armada. If you're looking to have exfoliation without scrubbing, if you're looking to have supple skin without all the drawbacks of the poison you can buy at CVS, at Walgreens, made by corporations that hate your guts, go to angelpaste.com, promo code Shapiro. Your skin will drink it up. CooperandFrench.com, promo code Shapiro. If you shave with this. I won't be able to because I forgot my horsehair brush. All right, guys. And of course, I will be giving away some of these coins tomorrow, hopefully to people who will take them. Sidney Powell, Lieutenant General Flynn, George Papadopoulos. We'll see what happens. James MG at Verizon.net to get one for yourself. $10. That's all it is. All right, guys. We have had a wonderful stream tonight. I almost don't want to end it right now, but I got to get to bed because I got to be up in the morning I need to be up at 6 so that I can iron this shirt and then go downstairs and meet some people I said that I would meet in the lobby to go walk over to wherever we're supposed to be. So anyway, I've had a great stream tonight, and we'll have impromptu streams throughout the day. And then, of course, the normal stream, 8 p.m. tomorrow, unless we have to change it around because of events. But thanks everybody for being here. Like, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for sending me to this event. It's already been fun, and I just got here. So let's pray. Saint Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle. Be our protection against the wickedness and snares of the devil. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray, and do thou, O Prince of the heavenly host, by the power of God, cast into hell Satan and all evil spirits who prowl about the world, seeking the ruin of souls. I love you all. Thank you for being here. And I will see you tomorrow.
I will be the greatest president that God ever